Hey guys, it's Miss Howard. Today we are going to finish up our writing that we started, okay? Before we get started, I just want to remind you of a few things. Remember, good authors write a story. They try not to always just write one sentence. They try to have a story that has a beginning, a middle, and an end. And we've really been working on that with our story. I've got it right here. We've already got it started. And I noticed the very first thing is our illustration. Remember, I said that illustration is super important because it's going to remind you when you come back day after day what your story is about. Okay, so we're going to check with our story and we're going to see if we have a beginning and a middle and an end yet. If we don't, we're going to try to see if we can come up with an end. Okay, the first thing I want you to do is to look at the illustration. So that's what you would do if you got your writing out of your writing folder. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to look at your illustration. That should help you remember exactly what you were writing about and think about what happened. Because remember, we're writing about something that actually happened with us or something that we did. So we need to make sure we know what happened at the beginning, middle, and end if we really did it. That's why Miss Howard couldn't write about going to the moon because I don't have any clue what would happen at the beginning, middle, and end. But I can tell by my picture that this is when I went on a walk with Nutmeg. And since I went on that walk with her, I have a clue of what happened at the beginning, middle, and end, don't I, guys? Okay, so the very first thing to do is let's check that illustration out. Can you tell what I'm doing? You can. You can tell that I'm going on a walk with Nutmeg. You can tell I have some details in my illustration. Now, I probably have room to add a few more details if I would like, because remember, when we think we're finished, we always go back and we look and we decide, can we add more to the words? Can we add more to the picture, okay? All right, so we said our picture's looking pretty good. It gives us a clue that this is about Miss Howard going on a walk with Nutmeg. Okay, let's read our story so far and see what has happened in here, okay? All right. I went for a walk with Nutmeg. Did you see how I knew where to put that period? Because that's where I need to stop and take a breath. Okay, let's read our next sentence. It started to pour down raining. Oh my goodness. So we know at the beginning of my story, I was going on a walk with Nutmeg. And then all of a sudden, it started pouring down rain. And remember, Ed told me it was calling for rain, but I didn't listen to him. So it started pouring down rain. Now let me think. How did the story end? Oh my goodness. I went on that walk with Nutmeg. It started pouring down raining. We had to run back home. We were soaking wet. So I've got some options here. I can choose to write my sentence that said, we had to run back home, or I could write a sentence that said, we got soaking wet. And since I'm the author, I get to decide. What do you guys think would be better? Oh, we had to run back home. That was kind of funny because Miss Howard's not a very good runner, or the part of we got soaking wet? Oh, I think I'm going to go with we had to run back home. Okay, I see that I've got a period here. So I know I've got room for my next sentence to start right here. And since it's just the word we, and that word just has two letters in it, I think I can fit it on that line. Remember, sentences start with capitals. Did you guys hear my dog Nutmeg just barking? She heard something outside. Okay, so I'm going to start my third sentence or the end of my story with the word we. And we know sentences start with capital letters. So this time my W's not going to start on that plain line. It's got to start up here at the top on the skyline. It's got to be a capital. So I'm going to start on the skyline. I'm going to come down to the grass line, up to the plain line, down to the grass line, and back up to the skyline. Okay, E. What's our second letter we have in that word? We. E. Yes, you hear the long E. It says its name, so we're going to make it E. Okay, I'm going to start right here on the plain line. I'm going to curve around, make a magic C. I'm going to do an abracadabra trick and turn it into an E. We. Now I'm going to come down here on my next line and put on here, ooh, we had to run back home. Okay, now we know this is another line, but it's not the beginning of our sentence. So that H in had, will it be a capital or a lowercase? That's right. It's going to be a lowercase. Okay. We had. Going to start on the skyline, down to the grass line, come back up, hop, and land on the grass line. Huh. Let's see what our middle sound is in had. Huh, ah, ah. What letter says ah? That's right. That's the A. So we're going to start on the plain line. We're going to curve around like we're making a magic C, and we're going to turn it into an A. Okay. What is the last sound, guys, that we hear when we say had? Huh, ah, d. That's right, you hear the duh sound. Now remember, those B's and D's can be tricky. And if you're at school or you have the letters in front of you, just look and see which way it goes. Remember, Miss Howard always says that D has a derriere because it wears a diaper. I know my kids laugh at that one. Okay, but to write that D, we'll start off with that magic C. So start on the plain line, curve around, make that magic C, come back up to the skyline, and come down to make that D. Had. Ooh, we had. Ooh, that's the last sound that I hear in had. So I need my what? That's right, I need to put my spaceman or something to keep a space. We had two. That's one of our kindergarten words, our sight words. And we've already written it up here. So we know how to spell it. It's what letters? T and a O. Okay, let's look at that letter T. Is it a tall letter? It is. So tall letters start on what line? That's right, they start on the sky line. So we're going to start that T on the sky line. We're going to come down to the grass line. We're going to give it short arms on the plain line. Okay, now we need that O. Now that O starts on that plain line. So start on that plain line, fly backwards like you're making that magic C, and come all the way around. Two. Okay, now at this point, I might need to read this sentence, okay? And I could start at the very beginning if I wanted to. I went for a walk with Nutmeg. That sentence makes sense. It started to pour down raining. There's my period. I'll take a breath. Now let's get to the next sentence. Okay. We had to run. Let's see if we can get that word run. Okay. R, r, r. What's the first sound you hear? Oh, you hear r. What letter says r? Oh, that would be the R. So start on the plain line, come down to the grass line, come back up and give it a curve. R, uh, uh. Ooh, you hear that short U. So we're going to start on the plain line. We're going to come down the grass line, give it a curve, and come back down. What is the last sound we hear in run? N. Yeah, that's the